Reggae Just Extra with Ras Dennis.
The Congos, a reggae vocal group, has been entertaining music fans for more than 4 decades. They have achieved worldwide acclaim for their soulful harmony and exceptional songwriting talent. Operating under the renowned Jamaican label, Black Ark, the Congos has created a dominating effect on the reggae genre. My name is Ras Dennis, and you are welcome back to another video by Reggae Just Extra.
You are now watching Reggae Just Extras, the Congos' edition.
Yes, live and direct. Cedric Mighten, Congos, RZ Jackson, R Smoke Wallace, live, living colored, the Panawat Festival, big up for 15 August, live and direct. Live and direct, living colors.
The Congos, comprised of Cedric Mighten and Royell Johnson, later becoming a trio with the addition of Waddy Burnett, are primarily known for one record, Heart of the Congos, released in 1977. Stay tuned to learn a thing or two, and do remember to subscribe to this channel, like, share, and most importantly hit the notification bell to be the first to watch our next video. Cedric Mighten grew up in St. Catherine, Jamaica, where he was raised by his grandmother. When he was about 16, he moved to Kingston, where he lived with his parents in Cockburn Pen. He learned welding but disliked it because he often burned his hands while working. He had always liked to sing, so in 1964, he quit the job and joined with a friend, Devin Russell, to form a group called the Tartans. They recorded a single titled People Gonna Dance All Night, and it did very well. They wanted to record it at the well-known Studio One, but had a dispute with the owner about how they should perform the song, so they left and recorded it with Federal. After recording another song with Treasure Isle, the pair broke up. In the meantime, Myton had become a Rastafarian. He formed the Royal Rasses with Prince Lincoln Thompson and 2 other men, who were nicknamed Johnny Cool and Cat. They recorded an album, Humanity, for an independent label. Thompson then left the group and went solo, because according to him, he was the main songwriter. This resulted in the group's demise. During an interview with Reggae Vibes, Myton claimed that there was a contract with Ballistic, United Artists label in the UK, and Thompson was opportune to receive payment in advance, and he escaped with all the money without giving him a penny out of it.
You are now watching Reggae Just Extras, the Congos' edition.
Thompson bought a house and a car and many other things, and he, Myton, invested all his time in the work with him as a youth and yet didn't get a penny. On the other hand, Royell Johnson was born in Hanover, Jamaica, and grew up singing spirituals at home. As a young man, he joined the group Ras Michael and the Sons of Negus. He also attended school with Lee Perry, who many years later would produce the group's most important record, Heart of the Congos. A chance meeting led to Myton and Johnson working under the name The Congos and hooking up with such major musical talents as Sly Dunbar, Ernest Ringland, and Uzziah Sticky Thompson. And while the music that backed the Congos was undeniably great, their most distinctive feature was their vocals, Johnson's strong, clear tenor and Myton's breathtaking falsetto, which sounded a bit like that of the great Russell Tompkins of the Stylistics. What Lee Perry brought to this mix was his usual anarchic presence, but also his technique of using primitive, even for its time, 4-track recording technology that emphasized a cluttered, dense, but hot live sound. With Perry at the controls, the Congos had a man uniquely qualified to capture the roots vibe they wanted to record, perhaps the only producer in Jamaica capable of doing so.
This is the place to be for your reggae gist, facts, and culture.
Perry's previous productions by Max Romeo and Junior Muvin had been huge commercial successes thanks to a deal with Island Records, but Perry was in dispute with Island at the time the Congos album was finished, so it was released on his own Black Ark label, limiting its success overseas and causing a rift with the group. It didn't take long for Perry to burn down his studio in order to get rid of Bad Spirit.
The reason why the studio did have to burn is because the studio has been polluted with unholy spirit, and God didn't like that, and the only way to cleanse yourself from unholy spirit is to use fire. Power, the fire is a higher power that can burn evil, and like the fire plant to burn down Babylon. So those spirit inside the ark was negative spirit, negative people, and in a different body. They look like human being, but they was not human being. It was like demons, even like the Congo. The Congos was demons in the flesh.
The Congos went their own way, organizing a limited pressing of the album themselves. United Kingdom label Go Feet eventually reissued the album in 1980, and although the group had recorded new material since leaving Perry, Heart of the Congos proved a hard act to follow, and their other releases suffered as a consequence. Albums such as Congo Ashanti were sparser and sounded ordinary compared to Perry's Kitchen Sink and All massive productions. Burnett quit the group, soon followed by Johnson, who embarked on a solo career. Myton continued to record as the Congos with various other musicians until the mid-1980s and 1990s, when they reformed, with Myton and Burnett joined by Lindbergh Lewis, several albums following in subsequent years. In 2001, tragedy struck Myton's family when his son, Ezekiel, was killed by police in Atlanta, Georgia. The police reported that there had been a shootout between Ezekiel and an off-duty officer, yet according to Myton's wife, Yvonne, and Reggae-Vibes.com, no gun was found on Ezekiel. The dispute apparently started as an argument over a cell phone, which erupted between Ezekiel and an officer who was working as a security guard at a mall. After a scuffle, Ezekiel pushed the guard to the ground and ran, and the guard then shot and killed him. He was 21. The tragedy deeply affected Myton, who was touring in Europe at the time. After this loss, Myton, who had been living in the United States, returned to Jamaica and Studio One to record some new songs. It was the first time he had entered the studio since a dispute with its owner, Jackie Mitu, back in the 1960s, but this time he was welcomed by the studio's new head, Clement Sir Coxon-Dodd. At the same time, he reunited with Johnson, and the two hoped to work together in the future. This planned reunion did not pan out, as the two were unable to reconcile their long-standing differences. In 2002, they appeared on the album The Slackers and Friends by the ska/reggae band The Slackers. In 2003, Johnson founded his own recording studio, Lion's Den, in St. Catherine. The studio recorded a mix of both old and new acts, and had 8 singles that were almost ready to be released by 2004. He and Myton continued to talk about getting together again, but it was uncertain whether this would actually happen. Myton, like Johnson, believes his music and its Rastafarian message is still relevant. He told a reporter from the Jamaica Observer, "The world has not changed since I started out in this business. The same message is still relevant because it is the same people who went to River Jordan and turned back." In 2005, Myton recorded Give Them the Rights with a host of backup singers and star session players such as Sly and Robbie and Earl Chinna Smith, very much in the spiritual 70s roots vein. In 2008, the Congos appeared in the independent feature film Wa Do Dim, which captures them performing Fisherman and Congo Man Chant under a full moon at Hellshire Beach outside Kingston. In 2009, Myton, Burnett, and Johnson reunited with Perry to record the album Back in the Black Ark, which, despite its title, was recorded at Myton Studio in Portmore and at Mixing Lab, Kingston. Thanks for watching, and do remember to subscribe, give it a like, and post a positive comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you again very soon for another video.
Many thanks for watching Reggae Gist Extra with Ras Dennis.